What's up, everybody? I am just here at my alma mater, my institution of higher learning, because I'm going to talk about Saturn transiting into Sagittarius this Thursday. You might hear some airplanes going off. They seem to be doing some fighter pilot stuff, so if it gets noisy, I apologize. Alright, so Saturn into Sagittarius. What we have to do is kind of look at where Saturn's been for the last couple of years in the sign of Scorpio. Now in Scorpio, Saturn is testing kind of our deep, hidden things. Scorpio's like stuff that's hidden, stuff that is underground, stuff that like skeletons in the closet. It's kind of been unearthing a lot of stuff for us. For me, Saturn in Scorpio was my Saturn return, so it was definitely a rebirth for me. It was definitely a time where I didn't realize at the beginning of the transit in about October of 2012 that I was dead inside, and I literally came back to life through the transit of Saturn in Scorpio. So what does that mean now? That means that we are taking the things that we dug up, we're taking the things that have been kind of buried and hidden, and now they're coming out into light. Scorpio is a fixed water sign, and Sagittarius is the mutable fire sign. So we're now taking the things that we found in this transit, the scary kind of underworld things that have been going on, and now we're bringing that stuff out to light. So anything that's been hidden, anything, like I said, skeletons in the closet, all that stuff we're gonna start seeing what that is and what that means and what it means to us. So you just check this out here. The transit is going to go from September 17th of this year until December 18th of 2017. So we've got 2 years to look forward to kind of bringing things out into the light. Saturn is called the dark sun. It's the opposite of the consciousness of the light, the luminaries, the sun and the moon. In traditional astrology, it's the opposite signs of Capricorn and Aquarius from Leo, and Cancer as the lights, the luminaries. And Saturn is the tester. Saturn is what gives us restrictions and rules and boundaries, and he's kind of like, if you don't learn the lessons, then you're going to keep repeating the trials that you're going through. So kind of this is a prediction of what we might be looking forward to with this Saturn and Sagittarius transit. Let me just continue checking my notes here. This transit is going to deal a lot with testing our search for the higher truth. Sagittarius is about philosophies and beliefs and ideas, and we're going to be testing all of those things. Our beliefs on how the world works is going to change. In the past, stuff like a Wikipedia, where they're like, you can't use that as a source. We're going to see a lot of the organizations that are telling us that we can't use this or that or whatever as a source. I think we're going to see that a lot of these organizations tested. We're going to maybe see a lot of these organizations discredited because stuff that's been dug out, stuff that has been unearthed during Saturn and Scorpio, stuff that has transformed within us, stuff that has been reborn within us is now coming to light. We're now bringing what we've gone through out into the world, and we're going to see what that means and what it is and what it does. So we might see establishments and organizations being discredited. Something that I think we're also going to have to look at is kind of looking at the idea of black and white dichotomies being tested as well. Like the idea of it's black or white, or red or blue, Republican or Democrat, whatever, that there's only these two choices. Stuff is not one or the other, right? That idea of that dichotomy, that interplay, whether it's meshing, whether it's conflicting, whatever it is, those dichotomies are more along the opposite sign of Sagittarius. That's more of a Gemini trait, those things coming together, that communication. Sagittarius is about transcending and finding higher truth, higher ideals, higher consciousness. And so I think we're going to see a lot of this kind of dichotomy of black or white. We're going to see that there's a whole spectrum of an infinite spectrum of gray in there. and that maybe there are other choices besides just black or white, and then that spectrum of gray. There's another road. There's always another plane to that higher consciousness. So I think that overall, over the next 2 years, we're going to be kind of having this idea that there is something else besides these two choices that we're generally given. I think we're also going to be seeing a trend of, here in America at least, because that's where I'm at, we're going to be seeing a trend of kind of xenophobia. We're going to be testing our relations with foreign countries. We're going to be testing, we've already seen that, like things that have started this spring while Saturn was in Sag from about the last week of December through about the middle of June this year. We've already kind of been seeing some of these trends get started. We're dealing right now with a huge refugee crisis worldwide, and people saying, you know, especially here in America, like, you know, we're not going to take them in, you know, what, you know, all this kind of stuff. We're already seeing it happen. So I think that we're going to be dealing with that a lot, especially here in America, with foreign countries, kind of our attitude about foreign countries, stuff like that. I think that we're going to have a lot of light shed. Saturn, the dark sun there, is going to be shedding a lot of light on kind of world politics in general. I think that we have a narrative here in America that it's one way, it's, you know, this is how it is, this is how it goes. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of different narratives coming in worldwide over the course of the next couple of years. Within the decans of Sagittarius, I think we might have some medical breakthroughs or possibly epidemics of illnesses within the first decan, the first 10 degrees. We might have a lot of talk of war. We might have a lot of hostility with foreign countries within the second decan. And I'm wondering if by the third decan of Sag that we are kind of questioning sovereignty and questioning leadership and questioning how that all works and what that all means. We have this opportunity with Saturn and Sag to kind of transcend to a higher ideal and a higher plane and find our own path. I also kind of think that we might be seeing people have their religious beliefs tested. We might have people kind of dropping off of their religious organizations for whatever reason. Again, a lot of things that have come to light over the last couple of years, a lot of dark things that have been happening, especially with regards to religious organizations. I think we're going to have people kind of having their faith tested. They might leave these organizations. That's kind of my prediction with that. But the big thing is that everyone's belief on how the world works is going to be changing. Our ideas about how things go down will be tested, and we are going to kind of have a shift in thinking about how we think about the world at large. So that's it. That's my predictions. For me personally, I'm a Leo. So when Saturn moved into Sag the last week of December last year and throughout this whole spring, it was happy-go-lucky for me because I just went through my Saturn return, and that shit was scary. That shit was definitely a rebirth. It was unknown. It was very transformative, and now that's kind of given me me personally, given me a trine, given me more of an easy flowing energy. I kind of can't wait to see these higher ideals be brought out to light, and kind of the search for higher truth and higher consciousness start moving forward. So that's what I got to say about that. Let me know what you think. Thank you again for checking out my webpage, subscribing to my YouTube channel, liking my Facebook page, and getting a personal reading. You can check all that info out on my website. Yeah. Awesome. Peace.